What's going on, everybody? It's Aaron Duncan here, back again with another Panthers video brought to you by Unnecessary Bluntness Sports Talk. And today we are doing a series and a countdown of position evaluations previewing Carolina Panthers Training Camp. Yes. There's only a few more days, counting down those days till our Panthers get back on that field and prepare to go to war in this fall for the 17-game season that's coming up. And I'm excited. The offseason has seemed so long, especially when the Panthers don't make the playoffs. It seems like everything's that much longer. And then you got to see your division rival, the Tampa Bay Bucks, win the ring. It's whatever. I'm just glad that the Panthers football is almost close to being back. But in this series, I want to go position by position group and evaluate everything, just giving a preview of what kind of things we can expect going into training camp and the season. And today, we're talking about that quarterback position. But before we get into all that, make sure you guys subscribe down below and hit the bell icon too when you hit that, because I'm dropping this series of position evaluations. So if you don't want to miss any of the videos when I go position by position, you got to make sure you subscribe to hit the bell icon. That way you stay in the loop. And please give this video a thumbs up, because I'm going through every position group. It's a lot of work, and I want you to come on this ride with me. And when you give me a thumbs up, it really helps spread the message out so everybody else in the Panthers Nation and crew that's on YouTube can see my video. So I really appreciate that. So I'm going to break this down into a couple segments about what's old, what's new, and what we can expect going forward. So starting off, what's old? Backup quarterback positions with Will Grier and P.J. Walker. Yes, we had Tommy Stevens for a little bit last season, and we carried him this offseason a little bit, but we cut him before minicamp, and now we only have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. And there's not really a huge competition. Maybe you could say it with the backup quarterback position between PJ and Will Grier, but after last year with PJ Walker being the designated backup most of the time and even getting the start when Teddy Bridgewater went down, we have a kind of a good feeling about who's going to be that number 2. However, Will Grier has been putting in work this offseason with Christian McCaffrey, with DJ Moore, throwing and looking pretty good and looking pretty polished. The players, obviously, they're going to talk good about their fellow teammates, but they've been very complimentary of Will Grier. Now, Will Grier did get one preseason when he first came into the league, but last year he didn't really get a chance to develop under this new system and really get to show what he can do. Yes, he had in the spots that he did play under Ron Rivera, he wasn't very good. However, there's still time to develop in this new system with Joe Brady and new weapons. So it'll be interesting to see how Will Grier performs in this training camp and going into the preseason with actually a full slate of preseason action to be able to play and evaluate. The same thing with P.J. Walker. P.J. Walker pretty much lit the XFL on fire, so we got to see what he can do then. However, against NFL action, it's a whole different ball game. He did have that game against the Detroit Lions where he had some highlight plays, but he also had some red zone turnovers. So we want to see him be able to clean that up. And I think with more experience, P.J. Walker really has the tools like the arm strength and the mobility to be able to develop into a quality backup quarterback that if Sam Darnold happens to get hurt, knock on wood, P.J. Walker will be able to step up and make things happen. So those old guys, they're back again, another year in this system. So we'll see how those guys battle it out, and we'll see how many quarterbacks we actually take and keep on the roster. Granted, we could practice squad Will Grier, if I'm not mistaken, but who knows what can happen down the line. And we'll see these 2 guys battle it out in camp, and hopefully the competition will bring out the best in both of these guys, and we'll be able to have a quality backup. Now, what's new? Of course, where it starts and ends, the quarterback position, Samuel Darnold, the guy that we traded for from the New York Jets, the guy that has had his struggles throughout his career. That's putting it nicely. That's putting it nicely. There's been a lot more bad than good, but there's been some bright spots and some highlights and the highs that are there that may want to hang on to and say, okay, hey, can we mold him with proper coaching, proper weapons, and a better system and just a better environment overall? Can we mold this guy into a competent starting quarterback? Now, Sam Darnold, all eyes are going to be on him because to me, there's only 2 question marks on this roster. And the number 1 question mark is Sam Darnold. The number 2 is the left tackle. And 2 of those things can be dependent on each other because that left tackle success could have a big factor in what Sam Darnold does this year when it comes to production and leading this team to some victories that we seem to be primed and ready for. But to me, Sam Darnold doesn't have to be an all-star. I don't even think he is a top 10 quarterback. Some people think he needs to be a top 10 quarterback. I'm not that type of person. I think our roster is good enough that there is a version of Sam Darnold that can help this team be successful without having to be an MVP caliber top 10 quarterback. He just has to be competent. He just has to run the offense, don't turn it over, pick your spots when it's time to go deep, but be smart and check it down when you have to. Don't make bonehead plays because you have the ultimate safety blanket in Christian McCaffrey, and you can check it down to him. I've been on the record of saying that Christian McCaffrey could be the best thing that's happened to Sam Darnold's career because as soon as he thinks about sitting in that pocket, getting happy feet, and doing something stupid, he can easily dish it down to his running back that's been proven to have over 100 catches in the season on multiple occasions. And even if Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, knock on wood, there's plenty of competent backup running backs that can have similar skill sets as Christian McCaffrey, not to mention the weapons on the outside when it comes to his previous rapport with Robbie Anderson or DJ Moore or any of the rookie receivers that we drafted, or Darnold, the tight end that we brought in. So there's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to potential talent on the outside that Sam Darnold has not seen in his career. So I think everybody is expecting at some point for him to be better. You know, I think to me, they went ahead and gave him the 5th-year option, which because that once you trade for a guy like him, you kind of have to marry him and see exactly what you have. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Sam, obviously, but it's definitely a different market compared to the New York market, so the media won't be hounding him. However, Panthers Twitter can be a tough place, and me, I have my skepticism because I'm not a big Darnold fan, but I would love to see him be successful in the system because it ultimately means the success of this team, and I think this team is primed and ready to shock the world. It's just all about this quarterback position with Sam Darnold. So that's what's new because it's a new system for him, turn over a new leaf, new coaches, new organization. Everything's new for him and he's new to us. I'm going to give him a fair shake. Obviously, like I said, I have my skepticism and my skeptic glasses on, but I definitely want to see him be successful. So that's what it is. But what are the expectations for this quarterback group? I expect good competition from that backup quarterback position. Like I said, I expect those guys to kind of go at it. Don't think Will Grimm may just go quietly in the night. Like I said, he's been putting in the work. PJ Walker also has the tools, like I said, to be a competent starting backup quarterback, in the league. And with more preseason action for the both of them, I think they can be a lot better. Now, as far as Sam Darnold, what can you expect? Now, to me, I'm not having my expectations too high because I don't want to be let down. So it's going to take a lot more to prove to me. To me, even if he did have a good year this year, I need to see him do it again because the circumstances could change. Obviously, you could lose some guys with some guys in contract situations like Robbie Anderson and stuff like that. And you can also lose a guy like Joe Brady, who's the offensive coordinator, who has potential to be a head coach within the next year or two. So being able to do it 2 times in a row and not just saying, hey, this is a fluke, because there's so much bad tape on Sam Darnold from what happened in the Jets that 1 year of quality play with the Panthers is not enough for me. I need to see him do it 2 times. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because it's about 1 year at a time. We're going to be starting opening week 1 against the Jets, against his former team. I know there's going to be a lot of emotions there, but I expect Sam Darnold to hold his composure against a Jets team who's not very good. And with a defense protecting him like the one I think we're going to have and the amount of weapons that he has, there's no reason that a version of Sam Darnold can't be successful and help this team win. So I'm expecting him to pretty much run the offense, stay within himself, don't get too far outside of your character, and run the offense and let your weapons do the work. So I'm hoping that he can do that. I'm hoping the coaches are able to shift and rewire his brain and undo all the damage that the Jets have done to him per se. But I think it's a little bit too short-sighted to blame it all on the Jets. There's some soul searching that Sam Darnold has to do himself to get right from within and be able to turn around his career because he's a top flight pick, but he hasn't produced and lived up to that because right now he's sitting on bust status. But I think he has a lot of fans that think that he can pretty much turn his career around, but I'm not exactly convinced. He has to show me before I believe it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about us overall at the quarterback position. Do you feel good about it? Do you feel bad from top to bottom? How do you feel about the backup position? Do you think it's going to be a closer battle between Will Grier and PJ Walker? Do you think we're fine at the backup position? Do you think we should look for a vet somewhere to put behind Sam Darnold versus having him be the man and some other guys who are clearly aren't the man behind him? Let me know down below in the comments. But without further ado, like I said, I'm Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I'll see you next time. Peace.